Now I'm going to look at the complaint generally, see that it's been properly formatted. As you can see, I like my columns to have an even line after the numbers. Some attorneys don't care for that. They have their own setup. But since you're working for me, you have to follow my setup. And I'm going to go down here then to the end of paragraph 7. And I'm essentially finished with the body of the complaint. Now I'm going to go to the prayer for relief, which is the wherefore clause, and we have to make some minor changes really to this paragraph, but they are important changes. In using this template, you must be aware of several things involving numbers. You must maintain consistency with singular or plural pronouns. His, her, their, its. Plaintiff or plaintiffs, defendant or defendants. This all makes a difference. Also, with this particular template, I have it set up for either a contract claim or a negligence claim. We'll get back to that in a moment. In this instance, we only have one plaintiff. That plaintiff is John Smith. So I'm going to get rid of that language. It's plaintiff, not plaintiff. So I'm going to put plaintiff, John Smith, and he requests. He's singular, so he requests that judgment be entered in it's his favor, not her, their, or its. So I just changed this. And against defendant, there's only one defendant, and that's Mary Jones, in the amount of. Now, if this were a contract case, we would almost certainly know the exact amount of money that we were asking for. Because it's in Superior Court, it's going to be over $10,000, but it's going to be for an amount certain, liquidated damages. And what we will do, if that's the case, is we're going to simply enter the amount here in the amount of $25,000. So let's pretend that it's $25,000. $25,000. And you put the actual number in parentheses, 25. Oops. And then what you would do is get rid of the remainder of the choice, which is there for a negligence case. So I would delete that. Now, you have a simple paragraph that makes sense when you read it, something that's always important. Wherefore, plaintiff John Smith requests that judgment be entered in his favor and against defendant Mary Jones in the amount of $25,000. And this should actually be in caps. So what I'm going to do is go up here, and we're going to change the case of that. And there we go. I'm going to make that $25,000. And you get rid of the dollar sign there. We don't need that. Plus interest and costs is permitted by law. Now, this is a negligence case. We have unliquidated damages. We don't know how much the value of disfigurement is. For example, John has a huge scar on his back from where there was a back operation. That's worth a certain amount of money, but it's not for a fixed amount. And we also know that as a result of his injuries, he was unable to go out and ride his motorcycle. That's worth a certain amount. We don't know what the actual amounts are, so what we're going to do is ask for a non-specific amount, but we are going to ask for an amount in excess of $10,000, which is the jurisdictional limit in Arizona to get this case heard by a judge, a Superior Court judge, or by a jury in the Superior Court. So we're going to change this prayer for relief so that it reflects a request for an unspecified amount, and all I'm going to do right now is use some of that magic again and go back and change the language. All right, we're going to get rid of this, And all that remains is we want an amount of money in excess of. So what we can do is then get rid of this prior language also so that it makes sense. And let's see what we have. Wherefore, plaintiff John Smith requests that judgment be entered in his favor and against defendant Mary Jones in an amount exceeding $10,000. And I'll get rid of this form language. And I'm getting rid of it. Delete, backspace. And there we go. Now, I believe everything's okay. All right, so let's read that again. Wherefore, plaintiff John Smith requests that judgment be entered in his favor and against defendant Mary Jones in an amount exceeding $10,000 plus interest and costs as permitted by law. There, now we have a perfectly satisfactory prayer for relief. Finally, let's go down here to the signature block for me. And in prior examples, I did not give you my bar number. My bar number is for Pennsylvania. So I'm just going to use that. I don't have a bar number for Arizona. It's 38022, and I am the attorney for a single plaintiff, so I'm going to make a change here to reflect that. So let's do that, and I'm going to hit delete, and now we're ready to go. I haven't saved this for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Control-S and see where we're at. All right, I'm looking at this. Everything looks good. Next thing I'm going to do is proof this for content. I need to ensure that I have everything in my complaint, and that means that I have pleaded all the necessary elements of a cause of action for negligence, which is duty, breach of duty, causation, and damages. I look through here, and I probably have gotten close to pleading all that stuff, but I have noticed that I am missing something, and that is, you will see here in paragraph 4 that it says on June 24, and I should include the year. Let's make that 2013. John was driving his 2013 Ford Mustang south on Route 41 in Mojave County, Arizona. Then I go ahead and in paragraph 5, I mention a collision. And in that paragraph, I say what Mary's negligence consisted of, how she breached her duty. But I never say that she was driving a car or where she was driving a car. So let's go back here and add some additional information. And this is the reason that this template and other templates that allow for automatic formatting of consecutively numbered paragraphs is very important. I want to add a new number 5 that describes Mary driving her car. All I have to do is put my cursor at the end of paragraph 4, hit enter, and there it is. I have a new paragraph 5. It's changed the subsequent paragraph numbers. It's taken me all of 2 seconds. I don't have to worry about renumbering anything. With that said, I'm now going to add this other paragraph, put you on hold while I do some magic once more. All right, I've added a new paragraph, that being paragraph 4. Or 5 on June 4, should be 24. As you can see, I'm doing my proofreading as I go along. On June 24, 2013, Mary was driving her Chevy Impala east on Spring Street in Mojave County, Arizona. I want one more paragraph that says that Mary did something wrong at the stop sign at the intersection of Route 41 and Spring Street, and that she caused the collision. So I hit enter, new paragraph 6. All right, I've included a new paragraph. On said date and at said time, Mary caused a collision with John at the intersection of Route 41 and Spring Street in Mojave County, Arizona. I now have very simple, straightforward paragraphs which explain how the accident occurred, where the accident occurred, which establishes jurisdiction in this case, jurisdiction being Mojave County, Arizona. I explain that the accident was caused by Mary and that John suffered damages in that accident. So it looks to me like I have everything in here right now that I need to include in my complaint. However, I'm still not finished. I'm going to proof once more for content. It looks good to me. I'm going to proof for grammar, spelling, capitalization. And very briefly, I see that I could include a comma here, so I'm going to add a comma. There might be some other things that need to be adjusted on here grammatically, but for this tutorial, everything looks pretty good to me. I am going to use spell check, and it looks to me like everything's copacetic. You can't rely on spell check in its entirety. You have to proof it yourself, line by line, word by word. With this particular template, we have one final thing to do. We can't be submitting anything that has red in it. It's all got to be the same font. I use Verdana. It's all got to be the same color. It has to be black. So I want to change everything to black, and what I'm going to do is just simply place my cursor anywhere in the body of the document. I'm going to hit Control A. Then I'm going to go up and change the font color and make it automatic. It changes everything to black, and now we're ready to go. I'm going to hit Control S. That's saving the document, and that should be it. As is the case with everything that you see in this course, please let me know if you have any questions. You can contact me by email, and that email address is included in Angel. Good luck.